Speaker, allow me to convey my condolence to His Excellency, the President of the Republic of Uganda, to the Vice President, to you, Right Honorable Speaker, to the Chief Justice, to the Right Honorable Deputy Speaker, and all colleagues in the House. And Right Honorable Speaker, allow me to appreciate the Parliament, the 11th Parliament, and through you, for all the support that was given to the late Right Honorable Speaker. You did not leave any stone unturned in our quest to see that he remained alive and healthy. And allow me also to appreciate all the honorable members for their prayers, which kept the late Honorable Jacob clinging onto life, and in a special way to appreciate the family for standing together, staying together, and honoring their father. Right Honorable Speaker, the ill health of the late Speaker started in 2019. And because you have asked me to be brief, I will summarize. In 2019, he discovered a swelling in the neck. It was a relatively big swelling. And he took it upon himself to seek medical attention in Germany. The swelling was removed and analyzed, and he was told it was a cancer. And later on, I will summarize what the cancer was. He was started on treatment, which he finished in Uganda Cancer Institute. He subsequently visited several other hospitals because of the same, but we also had challenges during the lockdown and during the elections when he was not able to be in hospital. On the 23rd of January, we admitted him to Mulago, where he was to stay for 2 weeks. And during that time, we were preparing him to travel, and also getting in touch with several hospitals that could provide a gene therapy treatment known as the CAR T-cell, which did not require more chemotherapy because he had had multiple chemotherapy that had suppressed the bone marrow. And one of the reasons, Right Honorable Speaker, why visitors were limited was because his bone marrow was not functional and he needed to be protected from infection. So it was not that visitors were bad deliberately, but that was the reason. Allow me to appreciate the team of doctors in Mulago who took care of him, 15 of them led by Dr. Jackson Orem, the Uganda Cancer Institute Executive Director, who attended to him from the time when he discovered the lump until he went to Seattle. On the 3rd of February, 5 people left for Seattle, 5 physical people, together with the Holy Spirit. The 5 physical people included the late Right Honorable Speaker, included Patricia Lakidi as an attendant, included Christina Ward, and included his security guard, Ocheng, and included Dr. Jackson Orem, who was to ensure that the hospital picks him immediately, stabilizes him, and takes care of him. While in the hospital, several investigations were repeated. The biopsy tissues from the various hospitals were recalled for further analysis. Bone marrow biopsies were retaken for analysis, and details of all these were provided. So, Right Honorable Speaker, the report I have here is the death summary report for the late Right Honorable Jacob Oulanyah Lokori. The immediate cause of death, and therefore, one, the immediate cause of death was multi-organ failure. The heart failed, the lungs failed, the liver failed, and the kidney failed. The liver started failing while he was still here in Uganda, as well as the lungs that had started collecting fluid. The heart started failing while in Seattle, as well as the kidney. He had multiple infections, bacterial infections, which were discovered here, and viral infections that were discovered in Seattle. And unfortunately, the treatment for the viral infections also further suppressed the bone marrow. This was a consequence of total bone marrow suppression, which we call pancytopenia. In other words, his bone marrow could no longer produce red blood cells, white blood cells, or platelets. And he lived on blood and platelets every day. All this resulted from progressive, recurrent, diffuse, large B-cell, non-Hodgkin's lymphoma. That is the cancer. And I will repeat, progressive, recurrent, diffuse, large B, and of course, the chemotherapy that he received for quite a while. Right Honorable Speaker, there were contributory conditions, and the contributory conditions include the following. He had a lymphatic system depletion. The Right Honorable Speaker lost his spleen while he was in Makerere, and I'm sure many of you are aware about this. It is the spleen. And my brother, Right Honorable Kotogong, allow me to correct you, it is not the pancreas. You cannot live without a pancreas. It was the spleen. He had a splenectomy following that riot. So he didn't have a spleen, which is also an organ that manufactures blood cells, white, red, and so on. He also had challenges with stem cells, which had a poor immune response because of chemotherapy. He started having gastrointestinal bleeding, or bleeding into the abdomen, because of lack of platelets. He could not stop the bleeding. He had multi-drug resistant bacteria, and this was Klebsiella pneumoniae, which is usually hospital acquired when you stay in a hospital for too long. And the virus was him. So, Right Honorable Speaker, once again, my condolence. This is the brief report. A longer story will be provided in Kololo. I thank you for the opportunity for listening to me.